Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carryandcut YouTube channel. If you're new here, I really do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, also leave a comment down below. It really does help out the channel, and we have some pretty cool stuff coming here at the channel very soon, I'm hoping so. So I want to announce, I know you guys have probably heard before, if you've watched some of the other videos, we are getting closer to our 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I think at the recording of this video, we're like right around 1,940 some subscribers, so we're getting very close. And this is the actual knife that we're going to be giving away, so definitely excited for this one. This is the TRM Holy Nerd. This is a really nice little pocket knife. Fifth carry pocket is how I prefer to carry mine. This is in TRM MagnaCut. It is TRM. It's in CPM MagnaCut. This is a sweet little blade. This has got 3D milled G10 handle scales on it, so I'm super excited to be teaming up with TRM to do this giveaway. This is my personal TRM Holy Nerd here. Mine has the Purple Haze G10 3D milled scales on it. And I did my own little anno work on the actual pocket clip right here. So, but this is the knife that we're going to be giving away. So brand new in box, only opened it a couple times, never cut anything with it whatsoever. Really cool, and I hope to have one of you guys that's going to be getting this knife very soon. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and tell your friends, tell your family, firstborn child, whoever you got to do. Let's get those subscribers up so we can get that given away to one of you fans out there. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. I want to talk to you guys about some sharpening stones here. So this is coming from a company, Ruixin Pro, not exactly sure how you do the terminology or, say the name exactly correctly. But this is their resin bonded diamond stone set. So I've been talking to them for a while now, and they actually wanted to send a set over to me to take a look at and let them know their feedback on them. And I've sharpened, I think, three knives now with these actual stones. And I am thoroughly impressed, that's for sure. So I want to go ahead and look. So I know these edges are going to be kind of not the best. Sorry about that. The kiddos had the basketballs going. So like I said, these edge bevels weren't the best. I've definitely sharpened these knives a lot of times, but this 940, I tried my best to do a mirror polish of somewhat on this edge right here. And it, for the most part, some spots are pretty good, but I kind of got crazy with the edge bevels on this knife, doing some freehand sharpening stuff in my past life, I guess, before I really got, somewhat proficient. I don't even want to call myself proficient at sharpening because I'm definitely not. But here I went to the PM2, and it definitely got a lot better. Still a little bit wonky on my actual sharpening itself, but for the most part, really good. Nothing bad about the stones. That was just more of my own personal thing here. But then I worked on this Bug Out 535 today. This is definitely the best results that I've been able to personally achieve. Of course, I don't know if I got my sharpener dialed in a little bit more, but we do have a very nice edge on this thing. And I don't know if it's coming through the camera very well, but it is definitely highly polished. I wouldn't call it exactly a mirror quite yet, but it is definitely very, very highly done, I guess you could say. So I took this up to the 6,000 grit that this kit comes with, and finished on a 1.5 micron strop. And I'm super impressed by the quality of these stones for what you're getting. So let's go ahead and get right onto this thing. I really like, of course, the case that it comes in, and the price is going to be the best price point that a lot of people or a lot of companies can even offer. So this whole set right here is right around $90. I will have it linked down in the description below if you guys would like to check it out. But one of the coolest things is that the case that it comes in, super cool. Of course, they recommend using some sort of lubrication, and in this little spray bottle that they do include, we do have just water and like some Dawn dish liquid in there. Just nice little one spray or little drop, and then fill it with water. That's going to be your lubrication for the stones. And these are, of course, like I said, resin bonded diamond stones. I know right here on the front of this box it says it starts at 200. They actually include a 100 grit stone now also. So we have 100, we have 200, 400, and then it goes to 800 from there, 1,200 from there, and then we have a 3,000. And we also have a 6,000, plus we do have a dressing stone that comes included with the set itself. So definitely a well-rounded out set of stones here, especially for the grit. Some of the stone sets you get are going to, the grit progression is going to be really high and going to jump around a lot. But I'm actually thoroughly impressed by these stones for the price that you're getting. So for $90, you get this whole kit right here, the holder, or at least the case, the spray bottle, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different grits, plus you get the dressing stone itself. And at first I was kind of worried about these stones. Just when I first started using them, I did use a dressing stone on every single one of these. And at first when I started, of course I was lubricating the stone with the water, and it just seemed like there was a lot of resin coming off of the actual stone itself when I was sharpening. It seemed like the knife blade would be covered in either purple, red, or green, or something like that, or even this teal color. Once we got through the grit progression, it just seemed like there was a whole lot coming off of it. I think it was more or less of a first kind of getting broken in thing, because I put them to the side, for a couple days, and then restarted again today on live stream with this actual bug out here. And I didn't have near as much buildup, it seemed like. So I don't know if that was just the first initial break-in period, but it did get a lot better. And one thing I will say, that the grit selection, or it's actually the appropriate grit that you're actually getting here. So this 100 grit, it is extremely aggressive. I mean, you can tear through a knife in no time. Definitely do a reprofile. I know a lot of people said, I think they started this set with a 200, and people were kind of not really complaining, but wishing that you would have a lower grit stone to start with for like things like a reprofile. If you're going to go from like a 20-degree edge down to a 17, you're going to be stuck there for a long time with the 200 grit. One kind of gripe that I do have, I feel like you're kind of missing something here between 4 and 800. A lot of the people that I come in contact with, or at least I watch my videos, they know, or at least they say, that the 600 grit range is where they like to stay. They like to go from whatever it would be to a 200 to a 400, then 600, and then stop, and then they're going to strop after the 600 grit. So for the the most majority of people, you could probably even get rid of the 100 and just do 200, 400, 600, and then that would be the perfect grit progression for them. A lot of people like to have the, working edge, I guess you could say. And it does work fantastically well with that 600 grit edge, but there's people out there that like to get all the way up to the 6,000, and they want to see that nice, high polished, shiny edge. Of course, I'm going to almost call this a mirror edge. It's not exactly perfect, but if you're going to be doing, maybe a freehand sharpening or something like that, then it might be a little bit better. But at least the system that I'm using, I wasn't able to quite get it. It's definitely very nice, but there's still some micro scratching going on in there. And I'm not sure if that is just grit contamination from the different sizes or what, but I, did my best to clean off the stones individually before, clean off the blade before switching to another grit progression. But yeah, so I'm going to say this is definitely going to be a winner of a set, from something like, I use a Xarilk Xarilk sharpening system, and these are the stones that came with that kit itself. So it came with a 3-stone kit, and before I'm getting kind of fast tracked here, these are a 6x1 inch sharpening stone. So whether that be your I know Ruixin Pro, they make their own sharpening systems too that are fixed angle. I think they are actually working on bench stones too. They're in prototype phases. They're kind of working them in, and so that's going to be exciting to see. I know a lot of people like that kind of stuff, but these are the stones that came with my sharpening system here. So it starts at a 320, then goes to an 800, then works right up to a 2000. I just noticed that the actual abrasive itself came off the backing plate, so that's kind of unfortunate. Just noticed that, but I'm definitely not going to be using these anymore. But just one thing that I do want to show is the actual amount of abrasive that you're getting seems like a little bit more compared to something like this. So I don't know if we can accurately see how much. So it says we are at 40 thousandths of abrasive on those Xarilk. Yeah, it's going to be just about impossible to actually, do this quite right, since I can't quite get onto the actual sharpening surface itself, abrasive surface, I might say. But this looks like it's going to be right around, with my eyeball calipers dialed in right there, right around 61 thousandths of an inch. So, not 61, yeah, 61 thousandths. So there's considerable amount more of abrasive material on these stones. And of course, the more you use them, you're just going to go ahead and use a dressing stone, polish it right off there. And that's a good thing about these resin bonded diamond stones. If you take a little bit of the top off, you got a brand new sharpening surface. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of discoloration going on. And I think that's just obviously leftover metal from sharpening. But at the same time, you can, hit it with a dressing stone, and that, of course, will take it off there. I like to use a pink school eraser, and it takes majority of it off at the same time. But you can almost, of course, just use your dressing stone. All that's going to come right off there. I was kind of worried about some of these. It almost looked like there was a little bit of a washboarding effect going on. But as I've used them and used the dressing stone a couple times, it, perfectly took off the top of that surface right there, and it leaves you with a nice consistent finish. So there really isn't too many downfalls of a system like this, or at least these set of stones. I was very impressed with them, and especially for that price point that they're coming in at, it's pretty incredible that the quality that you are getting for under that $100 price range. I know you can get a set of these stones right here. I think you can get 10 of them for 40 bucks, and it's actual this same Xarilk brand. I'm not hating on them by any stretch of the imagination. They will work, and you will be able to get a good amount of cuts, you know, or at least knife sharpened out of something like this. And so what did I say, 10 of them for 40 bucks. That's 40 cents per each one. This, you get a 7-stone set and everything for $100. Yeah, it's a little bit more, but at the same time, you're getting way higher quality, a better overall product with being a resin bonded diamond stone. And, you know, it's just going to last a lot longer because of that thicker abrasive. And yeah, it's going to be definitely really good. These do have a, it's like a plastic backing on these ones also. Some people might not like that, but they are plenty durable. There's not going to be, you know, any hesitation or any problem whatsoever taking these in and out of your stone holder. So I think you guys are definitely going to like these, and if you have an extra $100 floating around that you want to reinvest back into your knife kit, this is going to be a perfect way to do it. Everybody needs to learn how to sharpen their knives, and this is a really good way to do it. Like I say, I don't think we're not going to chalk it up into the actual sharpener. I think most people at this point in time, if you have a 6x1 sharpener, you know what you're looking at, and this is going to be a really good way to get into resin bonded diamond stones. So I hope you guys really like this video. I want to give a huge shout out to Ruixin Pro. Sorry if I'm butchering that name, you guys, but they have great customer service over there too. They wanted me to be completely honest with this review, and I have been. I'm definitely liking them, and I would definitely recommend these to friends and family if they're interested in getting into the knife sharpening game. So this is a perfect set for you to start with, and don't forget to check out their website. I will have a link in the description below. Check out their sharpeners too. They are actually going to be making some new, making some new fixed angle sharpening systems for you guys to be able to buy and purchase, and I can't wait to see those come on the market. So I really appreciate you guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.